But like, it's like what you said there about kind of taking a back seat at a moment, just taking it all in. I remember we had a similar moment
Yeah,
when we did the BBC One Extra sessions with my orchestra. I was so busy with like making sure everyone's
sounded
got.
amazing, by
Oh,
the
thank you, man, thank you. It's actually part of the story.
way.
Actually, I mentioned this before. Actually, on the podcast, where we actually broke up at that point. The orchestra, literally
Oh,
about
really?
it's about I think 2 3 weeks before that we actually broken up. And then about a week after
Wow.
we kind of broke up, BBC got in contact with me and said, look, you guys are sick. Are you free in a couple of weeks' time? I was like, can we just check? Yes, we're free. So I quickly
That's
got,
crazy.
yeah, could I put a little tweet out and said, look, guys, unfortunately, due to several reasons, we can't do it anymore. But I purposely left my kind of social media pages open on purpose because I had made some really good contacts in there. And so I left that open. But yeah, about a week later, I got a call or an email from One Extra said, look, come down because you guys are sick. Like, yeah, we'll come down and do it. And during like, the whole day of filming, I wasn't taking it in as much because I was so busy to make sure that everyone's cool and safe and
Yeah.
healthy and the rest of it. But then at that point, my DJ at the time, he pointed to say, goes, George, man, take it easy. You know everyone's here for you, don't you? And just take it all in. But these are here for you. Don't forget that. Oh shit, they are as well. Fair enough. All right.
Oh.
And then from then on, I was trying to take it all as much as I can. But it's like you, though. You're so
That's
busy.
mad.
You're so busy to like make sure that everything's safe and ready and organised. You
Yeah.
don't always take it in, do you?
No, it's true. It is the organizational aspect of it, isn't it? It's like the funny thing is that I'm not an organized person, but I think I'm a natural organizer.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and it's like I've stage managed quite a lot of stuff and things like that. And it's quite funny actually you saying about that. Like I had a band in Birmingham called Genius Collective, and we were doing really well. Like, we were getting Craig Charles support and Todd Robertson, and we were getting lots of kind of BBC introducing support, traveling around the country
Amazing.
lots with it. And we got to this point where I think we reached that midpoint where I guess lots of people do, where our singer wanted to do different things, and I think the bands wanted certain things to kind of move forwards. And we headlined the BBC introducing stage, and
Wow.
it's the same thing where it was just an amazing feeling. And it was like there was a huge stage, massive setup, brilliant sound. It's like, this is crazy. Like, last night of this big festival, BBC introducing stage, headline, and it was like, this is awesome. But our band was falling apart at the seams, and it's like we'd literally had 2 gigs that day, and half the band hadn't turned up for the gig, so we
Really?
had to cancel the gig earlier that day, and like there was all of this stuff going on. It was like, this is mental. So we all got on stage, and like backstage we were like rowing, and like there was kind of these split camps of, look, it's going to be fine, let's sort it, and the other side of, no, forget this. And then literally jumped on stage, smashed the gig, and then everyone went back to round again. It's like, no, this isn't
Oh
what
my
it's about.
god.
But I think it's those like marker points, isn't it, where it just almost kind of bookends what you're doing, where, in a way, on reflection, I think, wow, that gig was an amazing way to end it. But there's obviously like a tinge of sadness within that too. But it is crazy, like when you just get to this point of thinking everything was lined up, and you wonder where it would have gone if it had continued on from that point. And obviously with you guys, I think you're similar in a sense that you're a motor for
Mm-hmm.
things that happen. It's trying to kind of really move those things forwards and have that presence and have that continuation all the time. And it's like I and that stuff does get exhausting. I
Of
think
course.
I mean, even now it's like I know that I'm doing the job of so many people when it comes to the music side, and I'm proud of what I can achieve by myself, but at the same time it's exhausting because I'm essentially, there's an amazing PR guy that I've worked with in the past called Andy Kettle from Steam and Kettle, and like he's brilliant, but being frank, I can't afford to do that every time. Like, we all know that unless it's a physical release, streaming is not going to pull back the revenue that you need in
Mm.
order to survive with this. And it's like, not every track can be a loss leader all the time. It's like I know that if every single penny I'm pumping into a track, I'm most likely not going to get that back. And of course, yes, it's not all about the money, but at the same time, when you're self-funded, it kind of is, because you need to be able to not burn out financially as well as emotionally.
Hmm.
I think that's the bit that I'm learning to balance that over time. And I think I've got to the point of thinking, right, I understand the strengths I've got, that I I can't draw, or there's certain aspects of design that I know other people do a lot better than me. But if I can get access to a graphic, like if I can get the front cover, and I've got good relationships with artists, so a lot of them will give me that, then it means I can manipulate it, take all the elements of it, I can do all the branding, and I can do all the things that a promo team would be doing. So I can do that. I've got video experience, so I can shoot if I need to. But I also know people who will happily kind of do stuff where they don't cost the earth and they can get involved. But then the promo side, I'll just do it all myself. And it's like I'm organized. I'll have my spreadsheet, so I'll have my promo plans in place and dates for release and all that side of things. And I think that's the thing, isn't it? It's just you end up wearing so many hats when it's this
Hmm.
kind of situation and when you're independent. And it's like part of me thinks I really wish I had someone who could help me to manage this.
Hmm.
But at the same time, I do really enjoy the creative freedom. And I think like bit by bit, it's just adding those little sections onto it to strengthen it. So I mean, I've recently got a publisher sorted, some guys called Pro Sound in Detroit, and they're starting to support me with different things, and that process in itself has been brilliant, because I've been managing to understand, I guess, my own royalties and rights. So I think you just end up where you're just plugging away, don't you?
Hmm.
And looking back at that, actually, for example, with Genius Collective, there was all these royalties that were all over the place, because we use like different publishers and this, that, and the other, and it was all messy. And it's like, it's that nice kind of state taking stock moment of, okay, let's get this organized, let's just try and work all this stuff out. And it's like, it's nice to have those moments of reflection to just think, okay, we've got to this, now what? And
Hmm.
it's like, I kind of see it that as much as I'm a solo producer, I've got my family around me, in terms of the Lassic, who's a saxophonist, and Gasper Senna, who's a drummer, and Vince, who's a violinist, and various MCs and so on as well, like Donny Numeric and so on, where we've been together for a long time now and we've collaborated a lot. So it's I very much feel like any movement I achieve is movement with them as well, because it's like I don't want to just do this on my own. I'm not doing this just for me. Like I love making music, but I love the collaborative element. I think the songs I like the most are the things where it's got at least one person involved in it. And I mean, for example, I recently released Lost Time with Ellie Harris, who you've had on
Yeah,
the
no,
show
yeah,
recently. And
yeah. Shout out to Ellie,
yeah,
by the way. She's amazing.
incredible.
She's brilliant.
Yeah, awesome.
Amazing.
Like, so talented. And but I mean, that track, when you look at it, it's like it's got me, Ellie, Delasic, Kinkoi, and Mecha 83 involved in one single release. And like that's a lot of people for a single, but at the same time, it's like I love that, because it's just really nice to see the different energy that can come from those different people and the different things they can bring to that music. So I mean, with the Dilla the Timeless tribute, I mean, it's over 30 different people involved in that project.
Wow.
But I love that. That's great.
Same. Yeah.
It's not a money spinner, but it's but at the same time, it's like it's definitely lovely to have that element to it, where there's so many people involved in it, and actually that really helped with the promotional side as well, where there was so many voices essentially working as ambassadors for the project.
Mhm.
So yeah, it is really good on that front.